Hello there and Happy New Year. I am Bri Williams, the Behaviour Explainer. I thought I'd just pop in and share with you one little nugget around how to make your 2019 better than 2018. And it all has to do with habits. Now, a few years ago, I was lucky enough to train with Stanford University's Fogg. And he shared some really strong insights into where we go wrong when it comes to changing our own behaviour, our own habits. And it has a lot to do with our assumptions around motivation. So you might be experiencing high motivation right now. You're thinking, okay, 2019, I'm going to tackle things differently. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to eat differently. I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to look after my relationships. All great. And I hope you succeed with those objectives. But one of the issues is that you might be feeling a level of motivation which is very hard to sustain. So if you think about motivation, often we fall into the trap of thinking, my motivation today is going to be the same as my motivation in 2 weeks' time, is the same as it's going to be in a month's time, 6 months' time, a year's time. The problem is that motivation is simply not stable. Instead, and this is the work of Fogg, we need to think of motivation as a wave. So it ebbs and it flows. So at the moment, you might be having a really strong peak of motivation. So feeling like you really are going to be committed to the change, but that invariably is going to subside. So it's going to drop back, then it might come up again before it drops back. Now, this tells us a couple of things. The first is that it's really a precious time that you're in now. When you've got high motivation, this is when you need to capitalize and do the hard things. So if it's starting an exercise regime, for instance, it might be going and finding out which gyms are going to suit you and making a commitment to that gym. So do the hard stuff when your motivation is at its peak. It also tells us, though, that we really have to plan our behaviour assuming that our motivation is actually going to fall away to a very low level. So also when we're, for instance, choosing a gym, we have to be mindful of making it super easy for us to get to that gym so that we don't even have to be highly motivated. It's so easy that we're just going to go there by default. So what does that mean? It means having a gymnasium, for instance, that's very close to work or very close to home so that you've taken a lot of friction out of the process. Whilst at the moment, a gym that's 10 minutes out of your way might not seem like a big deal and, they might have a great price. The reality is by the time you get to this point, that 10 minutes is going to stop you from going. So when we're thinking of changing our behaviour in 2019, it's really important to think of our motivation not as a stable entity, but one that ebbs and flows. Now, something that has helped a lot of people, and in fact I wrote it to help myself, is a book called The How of Habits. So The How of Habits really, when I was writing this, I was getting frustrated with a lot of self-help books that stopped short of actually telling me the realities and the practicalities of what I should actually be doing. So if you are interested, you can check that out on my website. Otherwise, I look forward to sharing a whole lot of behavioural science with you again throughout the year, and I shall see you soon.